Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and I have an awesome show for you guys tonight. I'm feeling good. I didn't drink all this water. I'm ready to go. And I hope I don't have to go to the bathroom because I'm going to have to hold it. But we ready to go today. I'm prepared. I realized I got to really be ahead of this game when I get ready to do this. But we are taking a look at ticker PAYX. You might know them better as Paychecks. Paychecks Incorporated was founded in 1971 by B. Thomas Galciano. Thomas Galciano, Golinsano, with the first office opening in Rochester, New York. Now they are a provider of human capital management solutions in the industrial space, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Paycheck's primary competitors are ADP, Workday, and Paycom. So today we are going to review Paycheck's earnings and take a look at their website. First, let's do our stream poll and do a roll call and check our stream. So we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. We are streaming live on those two places. So put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday, following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to these earnings. Let's get these earnings together. All right. So Paychecks, ticker symbol PAYX, the $33.61 billion industrials leader, reported its third quarter 2026 earnings March 25th, 2026. PAYX, PAYX, I did not add an extra A in there. PAYX is listed in the human resource and employment service industry inside the industrial sector. They have a 52-week high of $161.24, which took place June 2025, and a 52-week low of $86.89, which occurred in February 2026, which is a trading range of $74.35 and closed today at $93.63. Paycheck's earnings report missed on the top line and met expectations on the bottom line, as lower than expected client retention in the small business segment weighed on total revenue. They reported revenue of $1.81 billion, which was lower than the market expectations of $1.83 billion. Their EPS were the same as the analyst and market expectations of $1.71 when they reported an adjusted EPS of that same amount. Paychecks reported a GAAP net income of $560.3 million, which is higher than the $538.6 million net income they reported the same quarter last year, which is an increase of 4%. So for the third fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 4% lower than it is compared to now, a year later. Paycheck's 52-week high of $161.24 took place in June 2025, and today that stock reached a daily high of $96.18. The stock price showed significant resistance at the $97 level following the revenue miss. This represents a decline of 41.9% over a span of approximately 9 months. So if someone invested $1,000 at that 52-week high, they would currently be seeing a loss of $419. Woo. The earnings were released before the market closed, followed by an 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time conference call. Before the market closed. That's early. It's something that might not be right, guys. So do your due diligence and check on that. Management noted that while the macroeconomic environment remains challenging for small businesses, their mid-market segment continues to show resilience. The chat is good. So I want to talk about why we look at these websites, all right? Because I never really broke this down. We visit company websites and read descriptions with the goal of quickly finding answers to these 3 questions. What does the company do? What goods and or services do they sell? And how important are the goods and services they provide to their customers? How important is it? The goods and services that they provide to their customers. What is the demand like for it? All right, Original Greatness community, I want you guys to look out for these 3 answers, all right? And in the chat or in the comments, put the ticker followed by the key question number and your answer. So this is going to be like a treasure hunt for us to work together, get some engagement going for you to look for this stuff as we browse over these websites. And the links for the websites are also down in the description for your convenience. So let's check out Paychecks. Let's look at what we got going on their website. Let me zoom in. Confidently manage HR, payroll, and benefits. I see the About Us section right here at the top. Let's see, and there's Investors Relations. So we know we can find it at the top. So let's just scroll through, browse, see what we can find. Spend less time on payroll and HR, human resources, more time on your business. So you can spend more time on your business. Don't be tied up with this. Let us handle that for you. Pay us to do it. One platform for your human resources and payroll services, human resources, time and attendance, employee benefits, full service, human resources, PEO. I don't know what PEO stands for. Support to help you scale. So they do 401, they do retirement plans. They have a support center right here, and they tell you the amount of professionals they have. So they have almost 8,000. I'm rounding up. Human resource professionals. And they've been in business for over 50 years. Yes, they have solutions for your business size. So they got pricings for whatever you need. Self-employed even. And an app for your phone. In this video. So if I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow, the links for this website is down in the description for your convenience for you to look over it. So you can request pricing. So you might be able to negotiate a better price than what you can find on their website as a customer. So talk to sales, get support. Yep. All right. So let's go to About Us. About Paychecks. Paychecks Incorporated trades on, they talking about their stock information right here on the part about the company. That's interesting. I think this is the first time I've seen this, maybe second. They trade on the NASDAQ. This is the ticker symbol, PAYX. Is the digitally driven human resource leader that is reimagining how companies address the needs of today's workforce with the most comprehensive, flexible, and innovative HCM solutions for organizations of all sizes. Need to look that up and see what that means. Another video, Power Simplicity. We're here to help. How our solutions work. Our all-in-one technology and service platform, Paychecks Flex, is flexible to meet your needs as your business changes and grows. Record keeper of 401ks, bringing simplicity to businesses. The strength of Paychex subsidiaries. So this is other companies that are under this umbrella, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to do some research on these terms, and we're going to do some videos on that, so we'll know what these things mean in more detail. But it's either or. I don't remember if it's under the same umbrella or it's associated with it, but I can't remember how it's associated. I don't know if it's next to it or under it. So I need to look into that. But let's go to Investors Relations so we can get over here to the charts. So here is some financial information, and they zoomed us out. So let's zoom back in. We're looking for the stock quote for today. So up at the top of the screen right over here, stock data. This is the stock quote. Here we go with all these cookies. They cookie monsters on these websites. So Here's the official name of the company, Paychecks Incorporated, the stock quote for today. We're just browsing, so I just want you to see where it is on their website. We're going to go over and use the Thinkorswim platform. And guess what? I remember today that I'm supposed to tell you this disclaimer before we go over here to these charts, all right? So before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not their mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. You lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So be advised, trading from your phone is usually the least effective way for managing your assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or a TV, and only use your phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for Paychecks. And I'm gonna put the ticker up on the screen while we look this up. Here we go. All right, so now we're on the charts with Paychecks, and we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. So here is the price information for today right here. And they had a long wick right here. All right, so I'm gonna draw some technical analysis real quick. Here was their 52-week low. Do I have the snap on? I don't know, so let me go check. Go to settings. The snap is not on. So this is open, high, low, close. We are using the Thinkorswim platform. I had that on the bottom of the screen, the ticker, so you should be able to see it. So we can see that Paychecks was basically in a downtrend for a while from this 52-week low. 52-week high. So I would say this would be my technicals line right there. So it's been on a downtrend. So it looks like the trend is changing. It possibly bottomed out around here near that 52-week low. And notice I said possibly. And those wicks, I wouldn't even really put it. Let's just go ahead and put it there. Let's go with that. So we looking for resistance. I would say the resistance would be here. And we can see that it bounced off that resistance right here with this wick on this candle. Am I blocking that? No, I'm not. So right here, it was like support. And then here it became resistance. Came down, found support on the 52-week low. And it caught resistance right here. And now it's trading in its range. So it looks like the trend is changing. So I don't know if I explained this on these live streams before, but they are 3 types of trends. You have an uptrend, a downtrend, and a sideways trend. Now, the sideways trend is either accumulation or distribution. So accumulation means that the smart money is selling shares to the people that don't know what they're doing, and the stock is going to trend down after that. So they're basically getting rid of the shares before the stock falls. That's called distribution. Accumulation is when they're buying the shares at levels before they go up. So the neutral term for that is going to be called consolidation. So let's just stick with that. So a sideways trend is consolidation. You're not assuming whether it's accumulation or distribution. You're just acknowledging that the stock price is resting within a specific range before it resumes an uptrend or a downtrend. That's what we're looking at. So right now it's consolidating. That's what I'm seeing on the charts. So let me pull up the floating data box, and we're going to zoom in and talk about the stock price for today. So Paychecks opened at $93.07. They had a high of $96.24. They had a low of $93.02 and closed today at $93.59, which was a trading range of $3.22. And the trading volume for today was 5.3 million shares of this stock was traded today. And when we look at the volume percentile rank percentile over here, we can see that out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 15 days had more volume than today. So it's in the 94% of the rank percentile for trading volume, which is significant for this stock, okay? So we looked at the earnings company. So let's see what we got here. Let's move on. Let's move on. Check the chat. We good on the chat. So back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift, all right? If you wish to do that, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as the ticker on the screen. And I just now checked it, so I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Adams. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I'm just now seeing it. so that's why you ain't heard nothing from me. I'm just now checking it, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's look at the S&P 500 over here on the charts. Here we go. All right, so we're going to look at the SPY, SPY, and we're going to put that in our symbol box. It fell out that range. Remember, we were talking, well, this wasn't really consolidation, but this has been a range that the S&P 500 has been trading in. And actually, we're looking at the S&P 500 ETF. This particular ETF tracks the S&P 500 index performance. So this range that let me take this floating data box off. Oh my goodness. All right. Has traded in this range a few times. And what was that, yesterday? So yesterday, which was Wednesday, it had popped up and traded in that range again. And today it opened outside of that range right here at the top of this candle's body. It traded within that range during the day with that high, but it closed all the way down here. So it's still trading. Now it's trading outside of that range. So it broke support again. So now this becomes resistance, and it's trading below the 9-day simple moving average, which is this green line, and the 200-day simple moving average, which is this white line on this chart. And we are looking at the 1-year daily chart. So that's what we're looking at. So let me pull back up the floating data box so we can get the stock quote. See, I'm getting better with these terms. Stock quote for this look, as soon as I gave myself a compliment, started messing up. You see that? The SPY ETF. So this is the stock quote for the SPY ETF. So they opened today at $652.06. They had a high today for $654.85. They had a low of $644.82, and they closed today at $645.09, which was a trading range of $10.03. And we will look at the volume. They had a volume of 96 million shares traded today. And when we look at the rank percentile, it was 82.9% right here. So 43 of the most recent 252 trading days had higher volume than today. And this is still significant because it's higher than 70%. At least that's how I see it. All right, so we got that done. Let's move on. So this ETF, let me tell you this again, gives investors an opportunity to participate in the S&P 500 index performance. All right, I checked the chat. We good on the chat. Now, let's look at today's winners and losers. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. And I got a trick for you guys. So let's hurry up and get into it. I'm actually excited about this. So let's go over to Market Watch. And we go to the watch list. I already have it pulled up, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We go to public S-W and go to the S&P 500. So we have it pulled up. We're looking at the losers first. So we click the percentage change. And the biggest loser for today is SanDisk. So if you've been following these live streams, we've been covering SanDisk a few times. So the last time we visited their website and reviewed them, it was on a Monday, March 9th, and they were the biggest winner that day. And now they're the biggest loser, and they lost 11% in one day. All right, 11%. That's significant. So if you want to, oh, wait a minute. And on Friday, March 13th, they were also the biggest winner. And and they were also the winner on both of those days. So I wanted to make sure I told you these dates. Let me go back. So if you want to watch those live streams where we're reviewing their website and we talked about SanDisk before, look at the March 9th for the website and look at March 13th when we looked at the charts. So we didn't look at the website that day. But let's go ahead and talk about SanDisk briefly. So yesterday they opened at $677. They closed at $677.86. And today they closed at $600.03. Oh my gosh, $603.17. That's what they closed at today, and they lost 11%. So let me pull up this calculator so I can show you what this looked like. So if somebody invested $1,000 yesterday at the closing price of $677.86, you multiply this times 0.1102. So we just turned the percentage into a decimal. So that person would have lost $110.20 out of the $1,000 investment. So we add that back after we negate it. So you would be left with $889.80. Now, we're not going to look at their website, but I'm going to peek over at their chart so you can see it real quick. So recently we are looking at, let me show you what I'm looking at. We had this floating data box on, so we don't see that at the top of the screen. So we're looking at a 1-year daily chart. We're going to zoom in. So they had a 52-week high on March 20th. So since then, 1, 2, 3, 4. In 4 days from that high to that low, snap, they've lost 22.58%. It's kind of cut off. Let me see if I can move this up for you so you can see it. When I mouse over it, you'll see that box give you that information. They lost 22.58% in a matter of 5 trading sessions, 5 trading days. That's significant. And if I'm looking for support and resistance, I would say this is another one of those that's like a zone. So I'm gonna draw it on the chart real quick so you can see it. I'll drag it over and I'm gonna draw a zone instead of a, wait a minute, I'm getting there. Here's the zone I see. So instead of it being a line, it's like a zone that is respecting that support and resistance. So you can see right here, it closed right below that zone yesterday. And today it opened below that zone and closed all the way down here. So I would say the next level of support would be somewhere as this trades like a zone. This isn't like this isn't one where, in my opinion, you can just draw a line. This is going to be like a zone. So I would say the support would be this zone right here. You can see how those candles come right to that zone or in that zone and bounce on the zone. So you don't just draw support lines as resistance and support. If you see it kind of like in a range, you draw zones, or at least that's what I do. So it is easier for me to see and recognize. So we did a little technical analysis on this, but this is not the website we're going to visit. So I spent a little bit more time on this than I wanted to. This is the biggest loser we actually going to look at today. So this company, their ticker symbol is APP. And the name of their company is Apploving. I thought it was a dating. I thought it was a dating website company or a dating app or something like that. I thought it was funny. So the previous close for this company was $436.69. They closed today at did I say that right? $436.69 was the previous close. Today, they closed at $391.21, which was a percentage loss of 10.41%. So if someone invested $1,000, they would have lost $104.10. So I'm doing that off the top of my head real quick. We're using round numbers, so that's easy. So let's go over to analyze. Ticker symbol APP, they are in the information technology sector, and we're going to read about the company profile right here. All right. Let me take me off the screen so you can see it. So the company name is Apploving Corporation. Here's their website. The link is in the description for your convenience. Apploving Corporation provides end-to-end artificial intelligence-powered advertising solutions for businesses in the United States and internationally. It operates through two segments, advertising and apps. We are not reading all of these descriptions on here anymore. So we're going to stop. Let's go ahead and go to their website. This is, okay, here's Apploving. As we can see, it's not a dating app, which kind of disappointed me. I was like, this is a dating app. We about to have some fun tonight. This about to be interesting. Reject all. Zoom in. 150. All right. Investors information is right at the top. We enable businesses to advertise profitably. Axon, this is a company we've reviewed before. I don't know these other two. This is a short website. We at the bottom, guys. So their products is Axon. What does this have to do with Axon? That's a different company. So Axon is a ticker symbol of a whole different company. So when I said we reviewed Axon, that's not even the same company. This company name is actually Axon. It was a ticker for a different company. And some companies can have the same name, but they're in total different industries, and it's actually legal, which is kind of strange, but that's how they do it. So about Apploving. So they got newsroom, brand. They don't have an about. I don't see an about here on the bottom. So let's just look at careers, and then we'll go to investors. Careers, Apploving. They got investors on this page again too. F11. Grow your career at Apploving. Apploving is focused on enabling companies around the world to bring their ideas, products, and content to more people at a massive global scale. Watch how we work. Our culture, their benefits, 100% company paid health benefits for employees and dependents. Man, that's good. I ain't never heard of a company covering all your healthcare costs. Shoot, where can I apply? Employee stock purchase plan, retirement benefits with company matching. Wow. Life and disability coverage. We talk about life insurance, actually. So I got a link down in the description about that too, because we've covered that because it has something to do with wealth building and finance and protecting your family if you have an unexpected loss of a loved one at any age. Like, people don't understand, like, somebody's life is very, very, very valuable, especially when they are a breadwinner and they bring in money for your family. Even if they're a child and they haven't worked yet, the potential of how much a person can earn over their lifetime is very valuable to your family. So please check out those life insurance videos I have down in the description. I really wish they had the company information on here, but that's what we're going to use as a substitute when we don't find the about section on these companies' websites. So let's zoom back in. And don't forget, we're looking for those 3 key answers. I'm not giving any clues. I'm telling you what you should be looking for, or we should be looking for as a community before we invest in anything. We need to make sure we know what these companies do with those 3 questions that I talked about at the beginning of this live stream. So we're looking for the stock quote information. So here's the stock. Here it is at the top. It says stock information. So here's the stock quote. Now we're going to go to Thinkorswim and look over this. I'm just showing you where it is on their website, and the link is in the description for your convenience. All right, let's go to Thinkorswim. I'm ready to go to Thinkorswim. We already have it pulled up. Let's look at what's going on the charts. Ooh, that gap down, guys. All right, we're looking at a 1-year daily chart on the Thinkorswim platform. That's the time frame we're looking at. And it's been in a crazy situation for a minute. Overall, it looked like it's downtrending. So let me draw that line first. So if I was to lock that here and run this over, I would say that would be my downtrend. And it was steep too. It was steep and fast. So let me draw some support lines. So I would say right around here is where it found support. And I'm going to show you what I mean by this again. First, let's extend this time frame. We're going to take this to a 2-year daily because my face is blocking it. I'm going to drag it over. So we can see over here in this area. Yep, you can see that. Let me zoom in and drag it over. That line I drew, you can see how this was support. Then it was right here. It was support. Then it broke it. It became resistance. You see how the price was struggling to get above that line? It got above it, but it closed like right on it. This shows you how much the price was respecting that line. So it took days for it to break above it. And even here it still struggled. But then once it broke above it, it was also trending above that 9-day simple moving average line. Let me zoom out. So that's the support that I see on the chart. And then it went on a crazy run. And this was like a 3-month change. So let me draw the percent. This is one. So between the gaps of these red lines, so 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So it took 4 months to go from like this low. Let me zoom in because it's not letting me do it. Pull this over. So I think this green candle over here would be the low. I'm going to try to snap it to that. And then we're going to take it over here to this high. So the percentage change, that box is pretty small. What did I just do? You can see it. I'm going to zoom in and drag this over. 100, that stock went up 133% in a matter of 98 days. So that would be 4 months. We was looking at 4 months. So this stock more than doubled in basically 4 months. And this is what I mean by like looking at these charts and knowing how to read them. It shows just how many opportunities there are in the stock market if you actually look. Now, I understand that it's not guaranteed, but what I look at as an investor, even if I'm not putting any money into the market, I'm just trying to see that there's actually opportunities there. And then some people don't know that you can actually profit when stocks go down. You can make money either way. So even if stocks go down, there was an opportunity to profit. But I'm on our live streams, I've just been focusing on sharing with you guys the opportunities we find where in a short period of time, because 4 months is definitely a short period of time when they tell you that the S&P 500, you should average somewhere between 7 and like 12% a year invested in something that tracks the index, like the SPY ETF that we talked about earlier in the show. That's the acceptable percentage range they tell you should look at to get within a year, between 7 and like 11 or 12%. But I've been showing you, and we've been looking at multiple companies where they lose a lot in a short period of time. So over here, it lost 61.29% in a matter of, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4 months. And then over here, it gained 133% in 4 months. So both of those were opportunities, in either direction. So let's get the stock quote about today. We did a lot of analysis on this. I mean, tonight's been like a longer show than I actually wanted it to be, because we still ain't even talk about the winner yet. But let's mouse over this. So we go here. That's not it. Floating data box. And let's get the stock quote real quick. So here is the stock quote for today on Apploving Company, ticker APP. So they opened the day at $412.35. They had a high of $413.34. They had a low of $388.60 and closed today at $391.21, which was a trading range of $24.74. And the trading volume was 6.2 million shares of this company was traded today. And when we look at the rank percentile for the volume, it was 65.1%. So only 88 out of the most recent 252 trading days had higher volume than today. And then it gapped down. So that's another technical analysis thing. The stock gapped down lower today, and it's trading below the 9-day simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average. All right, so let's go to our biggest winner for today. Percentage change. All right, so here is the interesting part where we're going to deviate from things that we normally do. We are going to be able to visit a different website today because the biggest winner, Foreman, is a weird situation on the Thinkorswim platform, okay? So there is a formatting issue with the Thinkorswim platform. When the ticker symbol has a / in it, it doesn't pull up the financial information. So I'm about to show you what that looks like. So Foreman, ticker symbol bf.b, closed yesterday at $23.49 and closed today at $25.74, which was a 9.58% gain. So if someone invested $1,000, they would have made $95.80 if they invested in that company overnight from this previous close to today's closing price. Now let's get to the interesting part. We go to analyze, right? So when we go to analyze, none of the company information pulls up. The stuff we normally see down here is not there. It's totally blank. Even the analyst information is blank. And I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. I actually was going to skip this company, but I said, nah, that wouldn't be the best thing to do because we're looking to get educated and informed over here, right? So what I found out, because this ticker symbol has a / in it, this system doesn't pull up everything it's supposed to pull up. So I'm about to give you a workaround right now. This is a way to get around this. So what you want to do, or what you can do, what someone can do, go to Yahoo. Go to yahoo.com. Typing pretty fast. We're going to blow this up. Zoom in. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Now up here at the top where it says finance, that's what we're going to click on. Boom. So when we go to Yahoo Finance, now up here where it says search for news, tickers, and companies, we're going to put in the ticker symbol for Foreman. All right. And the way we do this, we're going to put a dash instead of the /. So bf-b. And see, it popped up, Foreman Corporation. So we're going to do what we normally do on the Thinkorswim platform right here on Yahoo Finance. So this shows you another way for you to be able to get the same information that you need to get without having a brokerage account or without having Charles Schwab. So this gives us a different look. So right over here on the left side of the screen, let me move me out the way. And we don't need this ticker on the screen either. So I'm gonna do both of them. We just can do this so you can see it. So on the left-hand side of the screen, we're gonna go down to where it says profile. So what we're looking for two things. We need the details for the company, the description. We need the description for the company, and we need the company's website. So here's a quick little trick to get to it real quick. If you hold Control and press F, that's gonna pull up the find. And then we're gonna type in DESC for description. And it takes you right down to the description on the page. It's going to search the whole page for that word. So we found it. Now, I already summarized this, so I'm going to go ahead and read what I have on my prompter to you guys. And I'm going to scroll this down so you'll be able to see it. And I'm going to put me back up on the screen. Matter of fact, let's do it like we do the earnings. Yeah, we can do it like we do the earnings. And I'm going to zoom out so you can see this. All right, so Foreman Corporation, together with his subsidiaries, manufactures, distills, bottles, imports, exports, markets, and sells a variety of alcohol beverages. Brands you may recognize are Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve, Old Forester, Gentleman Jack, just to name a few. They operate in the United States, Germany, the UK, Canada, France, Mexico, and internationally. This company was founded in 1870 and headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky. All right. So now we need to find their website. And here, another trick to do that, Control F. And then we type in HTTP. And boom, it should have pulled it up. It's right here. So here's the website. And I already have it pulled up. But that's where you can find the website using Yahoo Finance as a different tool versus the Thinkorswim platform and get the description for the company. All right. So I already have their website pulled up. So here we are. Let's blow this up and do this. Yeah. Zoom in. I'm moving the wrong thing. All right. We don't need it that big. It looked decent at 100%. Let's reject these cookies. Go these cookie monsters again. Chat. All right. Ooh, that's big. Did I zoom out? This text big. Nothing better. Got alcohol for you. While much has changed since Brown-Forman was founded in 1870, it's what has stayed the same that makes our story particularly remarkable. Remember, we looking for those 3 keys that we talked about at the beginning. So they got some whiskey, rum, tequila, gin. Oh my gosh, what don't they sell? I'm glad I'm not an alcoholic or even a drinker. This would be tempting. Did they even putting liquor in pop? We say nothing better in the market. We say nothing better in the market because it reflects the quality of our brands, our people, and our company. Environmental sustainability, global community relations, alcohol responsibility. That's right. Be responsible, guys. I like the fact that they put that on there. Don't just be doing this and like that. Be responsible. Okay, so let me take me off the screen. We definitely know what they do. They sell alcohol. So let's find information about the company. Here's about Brown-Forman right here in the bottom left-hand corner. Toast, cheers, cheers, a spirited family of people and brands. Put me back up on the screen. For more than 150 years, Brown-Forman Corporation has been building exceptional spirits brands, responsibly upholding our founding promise of nothing better in the market. All right, and for your convenience, this website is in the description. If you want to look over it, take your time. I might be moving too fast, et cetera, but we already had a long show. So let's go to investor relations and find the stock quote. So company highlights over 40 brands and over 170 countries. That's a lot of stuff they got going on. So corporate overview, and here is their stock information over here. It looks pretty small. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, we're going to take it to 150, and then it says see all stock information. So if we click that, we can blow this up. Yeah. So I think when I was researching this earlier, it says something about the reason why they spiked today was because they had news that a company was interested in purchasing this company. All right. So here's the stock quote. Let me see what happens if I click stock information. So they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. This is a line chart that they're showing. What are we looking at? You can change the time frame and all of that other good stuff in stock quote for today. Now, remember where I was talking about the ticker? Remember BF? This is the other way you can do it, just in case you run into problems where you see companies that have a symbol in the middle of it. So you got the BF/B, you got the BF-B, and then here on their website, they're showing a period. So it's 3 different ways you could try it until it actually works on whatever platform you're using. So that is what I found out when I did my research. So let's look at Brown-Forman on the Thinkorswim platform, and we can get ready to wrap this up for tonight. So we go to the charts. We got them pulled up. This is crazy. So they just been downtrending for a while. So we're going to start from this right here. And we just going to look for that trend. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. We should have used this one. And I'm going to show you. You'll see why in a minute. Now, when I use that one, it touches more of the candles compared to that first one. So now it looks like that was support. You'll see what I mean when I'm done. So that's my resistance line. Right here, this floating data box. Let me take this off. So this stock had been in a downtrend for a while. So we're looking at a 2-year daily chart. So if we go back to this candle I started with, that was September 30th, 2024 that we're looking at. September 30th, 2024. the candle that we started on to get this downtrend line. When it broke above it right here, that line was support because the price was above it. Then when it broke below it, it was testing it here again and it's resistance. Then it fell, came back towards it. It didn't even make it back to that line. Then it came back here and it tested it. So this area here is what I talked about earlier. This would be consolidation because it's trending sideways. Quickly put these on here. So this would be a range of sideways trending, right? Then you can see it again down here. It's some more sideways trending. And then it broke out of that sideways trend. So this is how you can chop the charts up to be able to see the technical analysis, to be able to identify the trends. So overall, it's on a long-term downtrend overall. But then since that June of 2025, it's been consolidating. And then it fell out of that range in the beginning of March, right here in this area. Let me zoom in. It fell out of that range at the beginning of March. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see 3.5. It tested it here on 3.4 and then on 3.6. I'm sorry. Here, 3.6. On March 6th, it closed outside of that range. So now this becomes resistance, right? So it tested it on the 10th. And then it fell down here and hit its 52-week low at $22.61. This was their 52-week low. And then it went crazy today. So let's put our floating data box on, and I hope I didn't yell in your ear. Went crazy today. I was all up on the microphone. So we got our floating data box, put that back on. Now when we mouse over today, this trading range is $5.17. And it came up to the 200-day simple moving average, and it opened right at the 9-day simple moving average. Okay. So when we mouse over this, we get the stock quote for today. So Brown Foreman opened at $22.33. They had a high of $28.46, and they had a low of $23.29, and they closed today at $25.74, which was a trading range of $5.17. And their trading volume today was crazy, all right? And we about to see that right on the charts with our own eyes. They traded 30.1 million shares today of their company. Now, that number might not sound significant, but it's significant compared to what their usual volume is, because when we look at the rank percentile over here, it was 100%. There were no other days in the most recent 252 trading days that had higher volume than today. No other day. So when you see that 100%, that is significant for that in particular stock you're looking at. So you don't just look at the amount of shares, you look at what the volume is compared to what that stock usually does. So it was the highest out of the most recent 252 trading days. So you can see it right here. And you can even visually see this volume bar down here is towering over these other ones. And this high came all the way up here and it pushed this price all the way back down. So today it reached above that 200-day simple moving average, but it closed right above that support in that consolidation range that we drew on the chart. That would be a heartbreaker because you gave a lot of money back to the market in one day, even though it did that. But then it was off this news too that it would be purchased. So let's go ahead and wrap this show up. I appreciate you for sticking through to the end. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of work goes into this stuff, even though it might look easy or whatever. My son running through the house in the middle of the night, boy. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the whole life insurance link I have down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, and God bless.